Hello everybody, and welcome back to Cooking with Grandma. Today I'm going to remake another one of my blurry videos. This one is for apple crisp cookie cups. Again, I don't know what happened. I think because I record these on my tablet, and I think that the screen cracked, so therefore it made it blurry. The tablet still works, but maybe with all the cracks in it, I don't know. But anyway, I redid the chocolate Coca-Cola cake a couple days ago, and today I'm going to make the apple crisp cookie cups. I mean, this is a combination of apple crisp and cookies and apple pie kind of all rolled into one, and it's so simple and so easy to do and so good. So we're going to get started on that. Now today we're going to put in 1 cup of butter that's more, kind of soft. If you buy the margarine in the tub, it's always soft, so it's okay. So we need that. It calls for using the mixer. I'm going to probably just use my wooden spoon. If I find it too difficult, then I'll get the mixer out. But the last time I did it, it was so noisy on the video, you couldn't even hear me explain what to do. So I'm going to try doing this. So we're going to add the butter. And now it calls for 1 1/4 cups of brown sugar divided. So for this part of this is for the crust, sort of. And we need 1 cup out of the 1 1/4 cup. So I'm going to measure that out. And don't remember my tip. You always, with brown sugar, you pack it down in tight. You want to have it nice and tight. Push it down with your hands and get it nice and packed in there. There's 1/2 cup. And there is 1 cup. We're going to put that in there. And to that we're going to add in 1/2 cup of white sugar. It seems like a lot of sugar, but it's spread out through 12 or 16 cookie cups. So it's spread out. It's not like you're not getting a ton of sugar all at once. So 1/2 cup of sugar. Okay, so we have to add the butter, the sugar, and the 2 sugars. We're going to mix that together until it's all mixed in nice. And this is why it calls for a mixer, because it is a little bit difficult to mix it by hand. It goes a little quicker by mixer, I guess, but it's not really that much more time consuming or harder. It comes together really quick, even with this. You can see how quick it comes, even with my wooden spoon. Just give it a good stir and flip it over as you go, almost like you're folding. Turn it over like that. You make sure you got all the sugar off the bottom of the bowl and it's all good. You see now it's all into one big ball. That's how you know it's all incorporated, because it's all together. That's our sugar mixture. Okay. Now we're going to add the eggs and vanilla and mix until that's combined. So we need 2 eggs. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla, I believe. Yeah, a teaspoon of vanilla. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. That goes in. And we're going to mix that through with the sugars. Make sure that's all nicely incorporated. This is going to make your crust for your, like the apple crisp kind of part of it. And then we're going to put the apples in, filling in after. We're going to make the filling. And you see how quick and easy that is? Like seriously, it took like 2 minutes for me to put the sugars in, butter in, stir it, put the eggs and the vanilla in. And you see it's nice and creamy. That's exactly what, there's no lumps of any sugar, there's no egg that's still not mixed in, it's perfectly mixed. Now, okay, add equal, combine. Now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients and stir just till combined. So the rest of the ingredients are 1 1/4 cups of flour. Half. And there's 1 cup of flour. I'll get my 1/4 measuring cup out. And 1 1/4 cups of flour. Put the lid on, put that back over there. And we now need 1 3/4 cup of rolled oats. You want always, when you're baking, you don't want oatmeal. I mean, you can have oatmeal that you cook, but you want the quick oats. There, it says quick oats right there. That's what the kind you want. You don't want the long cooking oatmeal, the one that you have to kind of, it takes you like half the morning to make a bowl of oatmeal for your breakfast. You want the quick oats because it has to cook quickly and bake in the oven. So I need 1 3/4 cups of that. So, 1/2, and there's 1 cup, and then 3/4. 1, 2, and 3/4 cup. This is like a, it's not too sweet, it's not too sugary, it's not, I mean, it's healthy-ish. It doesn't, it's got the oatmeal in it, it's got the apples in it. Not a whole bunch of sugar once it's all spread out and evened out. So you mix those in. I think that was it. Let's see. Oh, I forgot my cinnamon and salt. Okay, see? I'm starting to stir it again before I put the rest of my ingredients in. A teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And a teaspoon of baking powder. That is all the dry ingredients. That's all the ingredients for the filling, or sorry, for the crust. And then we're going to make the filling. While the crust is baking, we'll work on the filling. So we're going to just stir this all in, nice and mixed. Now it's easier to do this part of it with a wooden spoon rather than your mixer, because it's a little thicker and your beaters get kind of clumped up. It gets all clumped up in your beaters, and you got to stop and start and shake them off. So I find it just easier just to do this. And there, that's how quick and easy that was. It is all completely mixed in. Now what you do with that is we're going to, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find my spot in my recipe. Until it starts combining. We scoop out equal amounts in muffin tins and press to flatten. So I've already greased my 12-cup muffin tin. You want to grease it pretty good because they don't stick. So we just scoop out equal amounts into each pan, and you want to flatten it to come up on the side of the muffin tin. So with the back of the spoon, you want to make it so it's like literally just outlining the muffin cups. You want to make a hole in there because you're going to fill it. You're going to put apple filling in there. So you put about a tablespoon, a good heaping tablespoon in each one, and just push it up on the sides. Make it even all the way around. You don't want some parts thick and some parts thinner because it'll, you know, the thicker parts will cook longer and then your thin parts are going to burn. So you want it all even. It doesn't take that much effort. You just work at it and, you know, work with the back of a spoon until it's all in there. You can use an ice cream scoop if you want to make sure you're getting the exact same amount, but I mean, a heaping tablespoon is a heaping tablespoon. You can't really mess up on doing that. You just keep putting it in and working it up, and the dough is kind of, as you let it sit, it's kind of thickening up, so it's actually not that bad to work with. It's easy to spread it around, and because of the butter that's in there, it's not sticking to my spoon while I'm working it. And I buttered the cookie sheet, the muffin tins, so it won't stick to, that one had a little bit too much in there. It won't stick into the butter, to the muffin tins when it's done. Okay, just carry on. And these you bake in the oven for about 15 minutes or so. And when you take them out while they're still hot, and you put the filling in, and then I believe you put it back in the oven for a minute. I've only made these once before, just on my previous video, and they were a pretty big hit. Everybody really enjoyed them. Something like this is nice comfort food, but it's not hard. It doesn't cost you a lot to make it. Most of these ingredients you probably already have in your pantry. You know, you don't need anything extra. You don't need a lot of crazy ingredients that cost you a lot to make a dish. If I find a recipe I really like and it's got super expensive ingredients, I'll kind of skip it. I mean, if I really, really want to make it and I find that I can, it's not going to cost too much, but yet it's something, you know, I will. But normally, if I don't have the ingredients on hand or I can't buy them easily enough on my weekly grocery trip, then I'm not going to get them. So there I've got my 12, and there's still a little bit of the cookie batter left over. So I'm going to get out my 6-cup I have a 6-cup muffin tin. I'm going to get that out, and I probably won't have enough for 4 or so, but I'm going to see. And I'm going to grease the bottoms of that as well. Just take a little bit of your butter on a paper towel and just go around the bottom of it and around the sides, up the sides. So, easy peasy. Get that all greased up. I'm going to just do 4 right now because I think that's all the filling I have enough for. And then I'll show you what we do with the empty ones. Now these seem like they're a little bit deeper, so I am going to put a little bit more than that tablespoonful in. This one is, the cups are a little deeper than my other tin, so it'll take a little bit more. And this is all there is to it, and then we'll bake this and I'll get on with the filling. And I'll show you how easy that is. This is, you know, it's not hard. It's a little bit time consuming to mix it all and then to bake it off, and then you got to peel your apples. You know, it's nothing hard, whatever. It is not hard at all. But it's just a little bit more time consuming than just making apple crisp. I mean, even with apple crisp, you still have to peel and core the apples and cut them up. So seriously, it's not any extra work than just going ahead and doing it. So there we go. So that way I got 16 muffin out of it, 16 cookie cups out of it. So there we go. Now I'm going to put these in the oven. They have to bake for, let's see, 18 to 20 minutes. Now in they go. Oh, before I forget, in those 2 empty tins that you have nothing in, put a little bit of water in each one, because that'll help them from burning when you're in the oven. So we're going to pop those in the oven. I'm going to set my timer for, I'm going to set it for 15 minutes because, well, maybe 16. It says 18 to 20, so I'll just kind of do it in the middle. Okay, so our cookie cups are in the oven baking. So now I'm going to prepare the filling. So what we need is 4 or 5 apples, depending on the size. Like if they're real big, you need like 2 or 3. If they're small, you want 4 or 5. You want to peel them and chop them up small, and then we're going to put them in a saucepan. So I'm just going to be doing this while the crust is baking. That'll give us a little extra time to, by the time I'm done this, probably it'll be done before that. Actually, I did have y'all on pause for just a minute because I had a phone call. So my time has gone down to, it's already down to 11 minutes. So by the time we make the filling, it'll be ready. And you do put this filling right in the hot cookies, the cookie cups, and then put it back in the oven. Let's see, put it back in the oven. No, you don't put it back in the oven. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong part of the recipe. You just put it in just like this and then just serve them. You can drizzle some melted chocolate over top of it or some melted caramel. I didn't either. I didn't go that extra step because I could make like a chocolate sauce out of cocoa, but no. I'm just going to have them just like they are. You can do that if you like. It's an optional step. Gives it a little bit extra sweetness and extra flavor, but it's not necessary. But they're going to be good. They're going to be kind of sweet without doing this. Okay, so I've got 3 apples here because they're good size. So I'm just going to basically chop them up, go all the way around, or just to get rid of your core. You can take one of those apple cores. They have their circles, and they pop out the core and wedge your apples for you all at once. I did have one. I gave it away because I thought I had 2, and I don't have 2, so now I'm out of luck until I go shopping again. So these, just take each piece that you cut, and you know, it's nothing. You just slice them down the middle and then go across. And just keep doing that until all your apples are sliced evenly. I hold on to them this way so they don't slide out, which they just did. Boy, as soon as you say something, it kind of backfires on you, doesn't it? You hold on to the apples on either end, and it holds them all together, usually. And there, see, when they're all peeled, there you go. There's your chopped apples. How quick and easy that is. So we're just going to continue on chopping up these apples. And we're going to cook them in a saucepan. Actually, what I'm going to do is, while I'm chopping them, I'm going to get my burner on, and I have to put in 2 tablespoons of butter in my saucepan and melt that. So while I'm finishing chopping, I'll go ahead and get that in there to melt. By the time that melts, I'll have my apples chopped. Put that on the burner. There we go. This is, you know, like I said, it's an easy, it's not kind of simple. I mean, you can put it in a baggie or a little container if you want to take it to lunch or send it with the kids to school. If they ever get back to school this year, that's doubtful. But then you have all those little darlings home, so they can even help you with this. I've given my kids plastic knives and let them chop up things. They can chop the apples. They can help you mix, and it gives something, it's a boredom buster. It gives them something to do. And then they think, oh, look what I did. I made dessert for everybody. And they get all excited, especially the younger ones. When my 2 grandbabies come over they moved to Mississauga, when they come over to visit, first thing they want to do is bake cookies. I went to Dollar Tree. I was shopping for some stuff, and I came upon the one area, and they had little kids' chef's hats. I couldn't resist. I had to buy them. So my little guys made cookies, and I sent the video to their mom in their little chef's hat. It was adorable. So we're going to add the apples. We're going to add the apples into our, slide this over so you can see a little bit more what I'm doing. Add the apples into our saucepan. And we have this on medium-high heat. And we're going to just keep stirring this until the apples are soft. You want it, you're not making applesauce. You don't want them mush, but you want them cooked so that when you bite into the cookie cup, you're not biting into a whole raw apple. So we're going to leave those on the burner for a couple minutes. Chop the apples. The cook them so soft, and then we have to add the remaining 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And some cinnamon and some cornstarch. The cornstarch is going to hold it all together. So while those are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and measure out my dry ingredients that I need here. 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Give these guys a stir. This doesn't take long, maybe 5 minutes or so to get them all cooked down. You want them tender, like as if you were boiling potatoes. You want to be able to stick a fork into them, or just, if you can cut them up with the side of a spoon, they cut real easy. Then they're getting soft. There we go. Give them a little bit longer. It doesn't take long, but you want to make sure they are cooked down good. It won't, I mean, it'll be okay, but it won't taste really all that good with it, with hard chunks of apple. Now they're already, you can see they actually change color. I'm going to tip the pot a little bit so you can see them in there. They actually change from white to like yellowish when they're cooked down. When you cut an apple up, it's pretty white inside, and they turn yellow and kind of translucent. So they're just about done. I'm just going to give them just a little bit longer. Let them cook off just a bit more to make sure they're done. And then we're going to add in 1/4 cup of brown sugar, cornstarch, and cinnamon, and we're going to cook until soft and caramelized. Then spoon them into the cookie cups, and that's it. That's done. That's dessert. And there's no more baking required. You just eat them just like that. You put them on a plate and eat them with the, pick them up and eat them right into them, or use a fork. And if you like, it doesn't matter. Here we go. There, I'd say they were pretty soft and pretty done. And I'm just gonna, actually I'm gonna give them a couple more minutes because the oven isn't done for our cookie cups anyway. So I'm gonna be right back in a couple of minutes. Okay, and now my cookie cups are baked. I will show you, use my cutter for a minute. I will show you what they look like. And there they are, all done. Now one thing, when I took them out of the oven, they had puffed right up and filled up like muffins almost. So I just took the back of the spoon and pushed each one down like this to make room for the filling. Not sure why I did that. I guess because the baking soda rather, because it's powder. That was right the first time. Just to, you know, that made it fluff up, but that's okay. It was an easy fix. Now what we're going to do is finish off with our apples. Now they've already cooked down as much as they need to. So I'm going to add 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, sugar, cinnamon, and 1½ teaspoons of cornstarch. This again just thickens everything. When you use cornstarch, it thickens it up. 1½ teaspoons of that. So we're going to cook until soft and caramelized. So we're going to mix it in again. I'm going to give it a good stir and get all the sugar mixed in and the cinnamon. Oh boy, somebody really needs to invent smell-o-vision, because apples with cinnamon sugar on them, it smells so, so good. It's like cooking an apple pie. It's like having, you know, not using a can filling, like using real apples. So that is what you're looking for. Let's see if you can see that. I'll bring it up here. This is what, let me just take a little bit out of the pan. This is what you're looking for. You want it nice and smooth and caramelized. You see how it glistens and how it's sweet, and it's kind of dripping on my counter right now. We're going to put it back in there. You want it to get caramelized. Just means it's got all the sugars are kind of baked into it, cooked into it, and you've got that sort of glaze look over it. So there is that. So now we're going to take and fill our cookie cups up with this, and that is all there is to this recipe. Just filling these guys up and letting them cool and biting into one. It's going to be so, so good. So I'm going to move my camera back away from my stove, bring the cookie cups up here and fill them. Let's spoon out. It's only going to hold about a teaspoon of filling in each one, because the little openings aren't that big. And if you don't have enough to fill all these guys, then it's easy enough just to go ahead and chop up a couple more apples and repeat the same thing. Now, obviously, if you're, instead of doing 3 or 4 apples, if you think you only need 1 more apple, then lower your amount of cinnamon and cornstarch and brown sugar. Just kind of half it or so. I definitely think I'm going to have to make some more. This isn't enough for all my cups. I don't know why I have more filling than I did. I think, well, maybe because I didn't use enough apples. I just used 3 and I should have probably done 4. But to get you an idea of, yep, this is going to do just for these. I have enough for all but 4. Now, I'm going to have to make some more. That's alright though. I'll do that later. And you can just get the idea of what these look like and how super yummy they're going to taste when they're all done, when they're all warmed up and ready to eat. I'm going to move this pot over to the side. I'm going to pop one of these guys out. You just want to use the side of a knife and just loosen it all the way around like you would a cupcake or a muffin. Just go around in a circle and loosen it up, and it lifts right out perfectly. My cookie tin was greased well, so nothing stuck. And here is apple crisp cookie cups. That is what is for your dessert for tonight or snack. And you just pick it up and eat it just like this. There you go. So enjoy. Leave me a comment if you like this recipe, and if you plan on making it, let me know how it works out for you. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you to those who have. And if you want me to make anything, let me know. If there's any recipe that you have tried and failed, or you just want to see what it looks like before you try it, let me know in the comment below, and I will get back to you and let you know when I'm going to be making that particular recipe. So have a super yummy day. Bye everybody.